put out a statement today about farmers. Our farmers are being hurt badly by, they have very good workers. They've worked for them for 20 years. They're not citizens, but they've turned out to be, great. And we're going to have to do something about that. We can't take farmers and take all their people and send them back because they don't have maybe what they're supposed to have, maybe not.
You know what really gets me? Trump talking about how we're losing farmers, we don't have enough manpower in the fields. Baby, who do you think was in the fields? Who was farming? Who was harvesting? The people you are sending out. Oh wait, kicking out half our country isn't beneficial?
First he said he'd remove them, then he actually did, and now he's starting to regret it. As you know, across America, farms are shutting down, restaurants are short-staffed, and hotels are closing floors. And why, you may ask? Because the very people who kept these industries running, immigrant workers, are no longer there. Hello everyone, welcome back to Training Pulse Worldwide. I'm so glad you're here, whether you are a regular or just stumbled across the channel. I break down the real stories behind the headlines, no fluffs, no filters. So if that's your thing, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Now, let's get into this one because what's happening right now in the US is wild.
Donald Trump, don't backpedal now. Now you're saying or acting like you're regretting or that it was a mistake that you did this mass deportation, although you set it in place and this was planned and thought out way before your presidency when y'all were concocting up this project 2025. You had plenty of time to think about the consequences this was going to have, and you still proceeded with it. So now you're just realizing that all immigrants aren't criminals. Now you want to realize that they are actually hardworking people that have been working on these farms for over 20 years and just want to make an honest living for their family. Now you want to realize that now you have shipped all these hardworking immigrants off to their native land, that us Americans are not going to want to work in these fields for the prices that they are paying these immigrants. Now you're seeing that the farmers are suffering because of your dumb decisions. And it's sad because your blatant racism wouldn't allow you to actually delve into how agriculture works and how important the immigrants are when it comes to farming. And now you want to sit on a podium saying something needs to be done and that we have to use our common sense. Don't get French with us now. We ain't got to do nothing because I did not vote for you. I did not do this. So you need to fix this since they, the MAGA people, voted for you.
So, farmers are reporting 100% labor loss in some areas. Crops are going unharvested, milk is being dumped, hotels can't clean rooms because there's no staff, and restaurants struggling to survive, all because the very workers who made these industries work got deported or disappeared overnight. And some are not showing up because they're afraid. Now, Trump is trying to walk it back, talking about pardons, exceptions, and even letting employers petition to rehire immigrant workers who were deported. And it's not because he suddenly cares, it's because businesses are feeling the heat.
Trump just admitted it. His own aggressive immigration policy is destroying American farms and hotels. First, he says immigrant workers are very good, long-time workers. Then he calls them criminals. Then he blames Biden for the fallout. And then he says changes are coming. So, which is it? Because you can't deport your entire workforce and then cry that no one's picking crops or cleaning rooms. Maybe the real crisis isn't the border, it's the hypocrisy. Are we great yet?
All right, so someone explain to me how this is America first. Trump just came out in a press conference and said an executive order is likely. He's not going to deport and grant residency to illegal immigrants. Farmers because they don't have enough of them in the United States. Did Bill Clinton just say that, or did Donald Trump? That doesn't sound like anything I voted for. If the problem is we don't have enough farmers, don't you think we should be focused on American innovation, American people, and making farming more accessible for the people that are already here legally and are generational Americans? I mean, that kind of seems like that's what you would do if you were a national populist president, right? You could also get each state to abolish property taxes or at least lower them, because that's the main reason American farmers are losing their farm after 100 years. The most common saying is we lost the family farm because the property taxes were too high.
Trump made it clear from the start, deportation was the plan. He said he'd remove millions, and he followed through. ICE raids ramped up, workplaces were targeted, entire families were uprooted overnight. But then something happened. Farmers started speaking out. Hotels couldn't find housekeepers. Restaurants couldn't keep the kitchen running. And now, Trump is shifting his tone. Just listen to what he said. They've been there for 20, 25 years, and the owner of the farm loves them. And then you're supposed to throw them out. I understand both sides. He also said, we must protect our farmers, but get the criminals out of the USA. Changes are coming. Well, that's a sharp turn from his deport them all message. And these aren't just empty words. He's now considering carve-outs, possibly pardoning undocumented farms and hospitality workers, or letting employers petition to bring them back. But let's be honest, that's a reaction to economic pressure.
Donald Trump said he's not going to target restaurant workers or hotel workers or farm workers anymore with immigration. And this is where you find out that this regime has no idea what it's doing. Not 2 weeks ago, Stephen Miller had ICE officials, immigration officials, in his office screaming at him about 3,000 arrests a week, okay? Berating people. What that causes, because now they fear for their jobs, is for them to pressure everybody down the line and delegate everybody down the line, arrest everybody. So they're raiding job sites, they're raiding farms, they're texting people to come to immigration hearings, and then, arresting them in immigration hearings. This creates horrible optics. One thing, they didn't anticipate the horrible optics of it, or they did and they don't care, but obviously they do care because Trump has walked it back.
A lot of people online are not buying it. One user said, you deported them, now you're begging them to come back. If you really valued their work, you wouldn't have called them criminals in the first place. Another said, he built an empire on anti-immigrant rhetoric. Now the industries that backed him are crumbling, and some are pointing out the flaws in the system. How legal pathways like the H-2A visa program exist, but they're too slow, too expensive, and don't even come close to filling the demand. Others are calling this what it is, damage control, because even Trump supporting farmers are now desperate. Some are losing everything, fields are going unharvested, hospitality is breaking under labor shortages, and suddenly the same workers who are labeled as illegals are now vital to the economy. It's no surprise that public trust is shaken, because this isn't a policy adjustment, it's a reaction to panic. So here we are. Trump promised mass deportations, he delivered on that promise, and now he's watching it backfire. Farmers are suffering, hotels are cutting hours, even his base, small business owners and rural employers are now saying we can't survive without these people. And still, we haven't seen an actual executive order, just vague talk about changes coming. No clear policy, no real solution, just a political mess and a workforce crisis that's only getting worse. So I'll leave you with this. If these workers were essential all along, why treat them like they are disposable? Why deport them only to beg them to return? And should anyone only be protected because they are profitable? Well, that's the conversation. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is a genuine shift or just desperation masked as strategy? And guys, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more stories just like this. You're watching Trending Pulse Worldwide, where we break down what really matters. See you in the next one.